Hey guys, welcome back to Ascending with Tiff Talks 22, where we discuss any and all things spiritual or just related to our growth and our healing. I wanted to start first before we jump in and just let you know that I completed readings for each sign regarding what situation, relationship, circumstance, behavior, what belief has you stuck on a particular something, right? What it is that you are having trouble moving past and why, and then what your advice is from the divine. So be sure to check those out on the YouTube channel. Be sure to take a look at your sun, moon, and rising to get a complete picture. You know, the sun sign, your sun sign is basically how you present yourself to the world, but that moon and rising sign, those tend to resonate even more deeply often because they are more our inner emotional selves, or you know, how the world views us, okay, or what's happening in the world around us. So be sure to check those out. Also guys, if you have a missing persons case or a crime or victimization case that you would like me to look into, definitely taking suggestions on that. So message me or email me at tiptalks22@yahoo.com, and we'll look into those. Also, if you would like a personal reading, the same, email me or send me a message of some sort letting me know what it is that you'd like me to look into for you. If you need a list of services, check out my social media pages for that information. On Facebook, they should be listed in the featured section, and then on Instagram, they are in the story highlights. So check those out. But why we are here today, guys, because I was sitting outside Sunday, because you know I love to be outside. I was actually going to record outside today, but baby, it was just so much noise. Now the birds, they so nice, you know, they knew I was about to start, so they stopped yapping. And then, you know, we had all this other technology outside making noise. So I was like, just going back to your sacred space. So that's where I'm coming to you live from at this time. Well, I guess it won't be live when you guys hear it, but you know what I'm saying. Anyway, so I was sitting outside meditating, and, well, yeah, just kind of sitting in silence. And the way Source dropped this in my mind, just so randomly and out of the blue, I was like, let me look into that. So I was thinking about, you know, just the importance of communication in relationships. You know, relationships can be messy anyway. And so apologies and forgiveness are going to be really important in relationships to foster growth and healing. And I was really thinking how important it is to give a proper apology. You know, it's so much deeper than I'm sorry, you know. And some of you are saying relationships. Let me be clear first of all, because I hate when people say, well, that's not a relationship. Yes, any interpersonal connection that you have with someone else is a relationship. They're just different levels, right? Acquaintanceships, situationships, familial relationships, sibling relationships, friendships, all of those, platonic or not, right? Romantic. They are all considered relationships. Even if it's a stranger, it's an impersonal connection. So we are one, but their relationships just covers the gamut of it. So let's get that out the way. All right. But in order for us to coexist in a peaceful and healthy way, apologies are just a really important part of it. And so I was sitting and I was thinking, like, it's just really important the way that you apologize. It like has such an impact, or it has a potential to have such an impact on the connection, whether the connection is able to continue, whether you're able to move on from a situation without harboring resentment, or burying feelings. Like, it's just so important. And so I was sitting thinking, Spirit is putting all these components in my mind. And I was like, yeah, that's a podcast episode, honey. So in order to get prepared, I was like, okay, let me go ahead and look this information up. So I looked it up, y'all, and I swear it was everything that Spirit had already told me. I swear it was just everything that Spirit had already told me while I was sitting outside thinking of this. So let's get into that. What are the components of a healthy apology? What makes up a healthy apology? It's going to either heal the connection, or it could be the thing that seals the deal, like ends the connection, right? What is it that you can say, and how can you say it in order for it to create an atmosphere of healing, especially if it's a relationship that you want to salvage, after whatever the offense is that occurred. Because, you can, let's start here. First of all, let it be a genuine apology. A lot of people sometimes, they so used to effing up, okay, for lack of a better word. They are just, I don't even like to say the words I'm sorry. And it's not because, what y'all probably thinking, of the ego. I definitely don't have a problem admitting when I'm wrong, or when I say or do something that was wrong. I have no problem doing that. But I just feel like words have power. So I'd rather just use the words I apologize. But for the sake of this podcast, we're going to say I'm sorry. Right? But yeah, so let's start there. Allow it to be genuine. And how do you know if it's genuine? If it is truly something that is bothering you, or that has been placed on your heart to do, where it's not an ulterior motive to why you're doing it. Like some people just apologize to get something instead of giving something to the relationship. They apologize to get a privilege returned to them, or privilege restored to them. They apologize to simply get out of the doghouse. They apologize because they feel like they have to in order to fix the situation, right? So make sure that your motivation for doing so is genuine. It's something that you really want to repair, and that you really feel regretful or remorseful about, okay? So that's one. But the first thing that I thought about on my own was how important acknowledgement is, and accountability. So, and what I mean by that is, one, acknowledging that, you know what, I did do this or handle this situation wrong, or, it's acknowledging, one, that you did it. So it's kind of owning the situation, acknowledging that you not only realize that you messed up, but you recognize the impact that it may have had on the person that you offended in whatever way, right? I was doing one of the readings, I think it was Libra's reading, and I think that's the title of it too. You can't heal what you won't reveal, right? So if you don't acknowledge that there is an issue, or that something went awry in a situation, you will not be able to fix it at all, right? So first of all, and that's going to be super important to the person that you offended in whatever way it is that, you know what, I hear and see that this person really understands what it is, or the pain or hurt that they caused by this betrayal or whatever this offense was. So there's definitely a need to acknowledge the impact or the effect of the situation, right? Acknowledge that. Also, there is a need for you to express remorse, right? Express that you feel bad about the situation, and explain or display some type of empathy. Like, and what do I mean by that? I mean, one, not only that you feel bad, because you can feel bad because your ass got caught. You know what I mean? Y'all know what I mean? You can feel bad that it's like, okay, now I got to suffer the consequences, right? That's not what I mean. I mean, genuinely feeling bad or upset that whatever it is that you did, that you caused, affected this relationship or this connection or this person in the way that it did. Okay? And expressing, hey, if I were in your shoes, I would feel betrayed, hurt, sad as well, right? That's empathy. So being able to really express that to the person who's on the receiving end of the apology is going to be super helpful. Something else that I found, and I didn't really like this word, but the word is restitution, right? I don't like that word, not in relationships, because it's like definitely an energy of I owe you, right? How can I make this up to you? But restitution sounds like, I don't know, legal or something. I don't know. I didn't like it. So, but how do you repay or repair? So say you forget a parent's birthday or something like that. It's more than just acknowledging, oh, I forgot your birthday. It's like, allow me to make it up to you, right? So definitely don't use that word restitution. That sounds like too serious. And of course, the seriousness of it is relevant because you don't want to like be laying it on too thick, like where they looking like, okay, you're going overboard. Make sure your level of remorse that you express kind of matches the weight of the situation. And then also that just depends, on how the recipient, the person that you're apologizing to, depends on how important it feels to them. So you don't get to offend somebody and then say your apologies and then say, all right, so you should be over it by now. That ain't how it works. All right. That's not how it works. Okay. So, but, whenever it is that you step into this space of restitution, I'm going to use the word for lack of better, awareness is just a major part of that expression. So how can I make it up to you? I'm going to take you to dinner. This is with the example of the birthday. I'm going to take you to dinner, or we'll go and do this instead, even though I forgot on the actual day, So it's just, what act or service are you going to do to repair the situation? And sometimes that act or service is just a declaration or expression of a desire to change the behavior in the future, right? So it's like, you know what? I realize that you don't feel, for example, I realize that you don't feel heard in this connection. And I always cut you off when you're speaking. So not only do I apologize because I don't want you to feel that whatever it is that you have to say is unimportant, and I don't want that to affect the way that we are able to communicate in our relationship. But in the future, I will be more aware of that so that we are able to, kind of have a banter in the way that we communicate. So it's just really an acknowledgement of how you plan to take action to change the situation, to alter the behavior that prompted the need for an apology in the first place, right? And then something else that I thought was super important that a lot of people don't do. They just say, I'm sorry, and leave it at that. And it's like, I put the apology out there. It is what it is. But this is one of the most important parts. Asking that person for forgiveness, right? And you don't have to, or you shouldn't actually, you shouldn't expect necessarily immediate forgiveness. It depends on what it is, or what the offense was. But be sure that you are expressing a desire to be forgiven for it. You want to be able to express that you hope this person is able to move on. Definitely be understanding if they are not able to move on. But make the request to ask for forgiveness. That's a really important part of it. I feel like one of the most important parts of it. So there we have it. In an apology, you're owning it. You're going to express awareness by taking accountability for the situation, accepting responsibility, assure this person or reassure the person that is something that you intend to change, express to them how you intend to change it, and then show and prove, right? Don't let it just be an empty apology, words where it's like, okay, we've talked about this week, and here it is the next week, this situation comes up again. Then that's going to become a problem, especially for somebody like me, where, honey, where I'm like, I'm especially going to be paying close attention to how you move in this arena from here on out, right? Because whatever the offense was is fresh on my mind. So I'm going to be looking for that altered behavior. So you need to be willing to display that to the person who's on the receiving end of that apology. Display the changed behavior. And then, of course, like I said, being able to ask for forgiveness. Something else that I wanted to touch on was the word but, right? First of all, I am still a Leo, of course. Not still, always. And we can be pretty stubborn. And I know, honey, I am guilty of having said this before. But in an energy of awareness, I don't feel like I do it very often. I don't even apologize very often, let's be honest. Because I just don't feel a need to. I'm one of those people that is like, okay, I'm very sorry that I didn't speak in a more compassionate way. But what I said, I meant it because it was something that you needed to hear. But the thing with that is, when you throw the but in there, it almost completely negates everything you said before the but. Right? So it's like, and a lot of times when you throw the but in there, it's usually an excuse of some sort. Nobody wants an apology that's attached to you making an excuse for yourself. Nobody wants that, right? So if you're one of those people, I'm sorry, but you did this first. Like, baby, that's not how this works here. That's not adding to healing energies of the relationship, okay? So yeah, I feel like those are just really, it's pretty short and simple. Even when, these are just the things that I was thinking about, but then even when I looked it up, I didn't see anything past like 3 or 5 parts of a healthy apology, because it's really quite simple. But you'd be surprised the relationships that are lost as a result of a failed apology. I feel like communication is such an important skill. It's something that needs to be practiced. You need to practice healthy communication on a daily and consistent basis, and with that it comes a lot of self-awareness. So if you are a person who is not super aware, then that's not something that's going to be important to you. You're going to be used to just running around saying what you want to say, treating people how you want to treat people, doing what you want to do, right? Because you are just, it just really, I feel like it shows a level of emotional immaturity, right? So as you begin to mature emotionally and become more self-aware, that communication thing is going to be important to you. And as as it becomes more important to you, how you maintain connections and relationships and function in them, it's going to be important to you how you communicate in those connections, how you come across, how you are received, what the intention of your expression is. All those things are going to be super important, okay? Now, something that I did also think about that a lot of us hold on to, say we are waiting on an apology for the relationship to be repaired. So it's like, okay, what if you don't receive an apology? How the heck do you heal without the apology? And I didn't even look that one up. I feel like I'm going to just get that divine inspiration from source. So if you don't receive an apology, guess what I'm told? Forgive them anyway. Because why? If you don't forgive them, then you're going to carry that resentment and it eats away at you. So even before the healthy apology, the apology, I feel, is just for you to know that this person is aware and placing value on the relationship enough where they're able to admit their offense, right? But if you don't receive the apology, it's almost an expression of maybe the relationship was not what you thought it was. But you cannot allow the lack of the apology to keep you stuck, right? Because that resentment grows. So it may well be a need for you to release the relationship, create new boundaries within the relationship if you choose to move forward. But don't hold on to hope for maybe one day they'll apologize, because maybe they don't. And if you are stuck on that situation or whatever the offense was, so much so where it's like, maybe we'll be happy again when I'll be able to be happy when this person apologizes to me. It's almost like you give this person your power. You're giving your power away, because if their apology makes a difference in your happiness, then the lack of apology is going to keep you unhappy. And that's just giving somebody else too much power and control over how you feel on an emotional level, right? We are such powerful individuals in ourselves, right? And I've been saying this for a really long time, but we're such powerful individuals in ourselves, and we have so much more control than we realize. But that's because we are so used to relinquishing our own power, right? Someone being a jerk to you should not ruin the rest of your life. You know what I'm saying? Because it really, in the end, not in the end, in the beginning too, hell, it says more about them than it does about you. Just, I feel like you should be able to connect whatever the situation is to something that requires healing in them, to something that represents a deficit or a lack in them. Okay, so even if you don't receive the apology that you hope for or that you expect, you have to be able to forgive them on an internal level. You don't even have to tell them you forgive them. That's a gift that you don't even owe them. Just do it for you, so that you can acknowledge the situation, release the situation, and move on with your life in a controlled and powerful way. Okay? Does that make sense? I hope so. But yeah, I feel like that's really all I have about that. Guys, if you followed me for a while now, I have been saying since last year, 2021 for sure, Spirit was telling me that 2022 was going to be the year of partnerships and relationships, divine partnerships and relationships. And communication is such a major part of healthy relationships and being able to healthily connect and attach to other people. And like I said, we are so human, right? Apologies and forgiveness are vital in order for these connections to stay healthy, for these connections to continue to move forward. So yeah, Spirit told me that last year that this was going to be the year of partnerships, of growth in partnerships. So it's not just about hooking up or finding you a spouse or partner or mate. It is about being able to foster foster and maintain the connections that you already have or that you want to develop that are healthy. Of course, we are also constantly detaching and releasing the situations or relationships that no longer serve us, but there are certain ones that you're going to want to put the effort and energy into. And that's going to require apologies and forgiveness, right? So it's just so important for us to learn how to communicate to and with one another. Okay? And that comes with a willingness to see not only other people's faults, but our own. All right? So, I'm so glad I got that off my chest. It's so crazy. Because, like, when they put the bug in my ear, it'll just be like, I gotta do it, I gotta do it, I gotta do it. And I don't feel free until I've done it. So, yeah, I'm going to leave that there for you guys. So definitely, if you feel like somebody needs a little bit of guidance on how to issue a proper apology, definitely share the episode with them. Let me know, guys, what you think in the comments. Offer your feedback. I really, really appreciate it, value it. Let's get a healthy dialogue going. Let's practice this communication thing. Thanks so much for listening. Bolo for the next episode. Yeah, we'll leave it there. Bye bye, guys.